This is Richard McGregor, the Financial Times Bureau Chief in Washington, the morning after a big midterm congressional election. It's a shellacking by any other word. It's a wave election as well, if you like. People have been trying to work out other ways of saying it, but there's no doubt that across a whole series of different races in Congress, in the Senate, in the House, amongst a myriad of governorships, which are very important across many, many states, the Republicans have won, and they've not only won, but they've won well. And it's a really deep repudiation of Mr. Obama. And I guess we now have to see, number one, whether Mr. Obama changes his approach at all to see whether he can work more closely with Congress. And number two, how the Republican majorities in the House and the Senate handle their new power. I think there are a number of things that you can see coming pretty clearly down the track and perhaps very quickly. One of them relates to energy, particularly the Keystone XL pipeline. There may even be a veto-proof majority in both houses of Congress for that. I think you're going to see something perhaps on trade. This may help Mr. Obama. He wants the authority from Congress to negotiate a trade deal with Asia. I think you're pretty much certainly going to see the medical device tax in Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, removed. It's a bigger question, and it might be a bigger fight within the Republican Party about how many other parts of Obamacare they decide to try and take on, because they might win on the medical devices tax. It's very unclear whether they'll win on other aspects of Obamacare.
Some things don't change after tonight. I don't expect the president to wake up tomorrow and view the world any differently than he did when he woke up this morning. He knows I won't either.
I think there's two aspects that we can single out about the successful Republican strategy. First of all, they made it all about Mr. Obama and nothing else. That was very successful. But I think also it was a traditional Republican campaign with a very disciplined message on the economy and Mr. Obama, but with the whole culture wars on mute. Nothing about abortion, nothing about all these sorts of issues that have hurt them with women in recent years, nothing about singling out minorities, or very little. So, traditional Republican campaign, the culture war dialed right down. Traditionally, I don't think, midterm elections have been good predictors for presidential elections. Having said that, the Republicans performed extremely well in three states, Virginia, Colorado, and Iowa. And these are the states that the Democrats have really invested heavily in recent years, or for presidential elections. It really appears the Republicans are starting to get their act together there, and that should make 2016 much more competitive.